called it the Traveler, and its arrival changed us forever.
The reveal of Destiny back in 2014. This sentence is how I think of Destiny. The arrival of Destiny in 2014 changed us. Us being the players, us being live service games, and us being the video game industry. I think Destiny's impact on video games is understated, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. In the year of 2024, 10 years on from the release and unveiling of Destiny, we're so quick to tear down video games, roll our eyes at live services, and spend more time talking about what we don't like rather than what we do. So when a franchise has been around for 10 consecutive years, had an impact on millions of players, giving them a sense of power, discovery, and long-lasting memories, when it's enabled the ability to form bonds through togetherness and friendship, I think that's something worth celebrating. Don't you? This 10-year journey, it hasn't been perfect, but I also don't know any journey that's worthwhile ever is. So today, we celebrate Destiny 2, the impact it's had on me, the moments I won't ever forget, the friendships that I've made through this game, and I attempt to explain why this game really is something special as we approach the finale of the franchise's first saga. We look back on what's been, before we rise one last time against the witness. Today, we celebrate Destiny 2 and the people responsible for it. I've spoken about this multiple times, but I have to start with where I started. I never played the original Destiny for maybe more than 3 hours tops. I played and beat the Red War campaign at release on PlayStation, and that was that for a long time. Flash forward to 2018, I built myself my first ever gaming PC, coinciding with the release of Destiny 2 Forsaken, known to many as the best expansion Destiny has ever released. I remember just seeing the reveal of Forsaken and thinking, wow, it takes bollocks to kill your most popular character. But it was actually one season within Forsaken's year that was the one that connected me to this franchise. You're probably thinking, oh, it's Season of Opulence. Yeah, Menagerie was sick, but no. Season of the Drifter is the defining chapter of what got me into Destiny. All because of one thing. Gambit. Nah, I'm just messing with you, though that will be pretty funny. Although I'm not having any Gambit slander in here, alright? I love it. It was actually one gun that engrossed me in this game. The return of Thorn, an exotic hand cannon. I remember seeing YouTube videos and people talking about it, how excited they were for it to come back and how the power of it's all going to work and be rebalanced. So, as I'm doing this quest and I'm learning more about it and reading the lore behind it, and I'm like, what? The story behind an exotic gun in Destiny is on par with the narratives and films and other video games. It absolutely hooked me. And I'm thinking, this is just one exotic gun. What about the rest of them? What about the main story? And then I discovered Byth. And then I realised just how deep this universe really is. So then I got through all the content up to that point on my Hunter, had my mind blown by the Dreaming Cities reveal after Forsaken, and then for the following season, to follow up with a season as strong as Opulence with Menagerie as the activity, that was it. I was into Destiny. So I don't claim to be a Destiny veteran or anything despite over 1,000 hours in the game, but when you imagine that a single gun can invest you so much in over so many years into a franchise, that's the power of both incredible writers and a gameplay team who just continue to amaze. But that's also what I think makes Destiny 2 so special. There isn't a sole reason people play this game. And that's also reflected even when you just look at content creation of this. One person may play it for its rich lore and narrative and to study and dive deep into it. The next for the sense of cooperation, communication and uniqueness of its raids and dungeons. Another for the experimentation and fun of the build crafting. Or maybe you just like it when guns go pew pew. There's a multitude of reasons as to why you play Destiny and what it is that keeps you coming back. And that the reason you started may be different to the reason you're still playing. And I think that's pretty incredible. And speaking of incredible, I think Destiny offers up best-in-class experiences when it comes to video games overall, in its gunplay, art direction and design, but there's one thing that will always stand out to me. I always have a funny story to a degree about Destiny 2's raids. My first time ever raiding was Garden of Salvation during its launch week. I used an LFG. I had an experience so bad that I almost quit Destiny entirely. Truthfully, there were two really toxic pricks in that LFG that made this experience so miserable. Admittedly, was I fully raid prepared? No, but I was still holding my own. So when we got the raid done, it was so toxic that I didn't even want to celebrate, really. But on the flip side of that, I did not have a Whisper of the Worm, which is an exotic sniper rifle. So two lads after we finished that raid from that LFG stayed behind after the raid, complete strangers, and they just sat with me and helped me get Whisper of the Worm through the exotic mission. They taught me a bit more about raid encounters and strategies. And I say that because without them, I'm not sure I'd have ever wanted to do a raid again or even play Destiny after that. And I'm so thankful because raiding in Destiny is a top tier video game experience, period. I've played an abundance of live service looter shooters. The depths of unique mechanics, the reliance on coordination and communication with your teammates is unrivaled. The idea of everyone having a role, and sure you could be snobby and say that role's just ad click. I don't care, that is still a vital role. The emphasis on teamwork in these raids makes these raid experiences second to none. But raids are just much more than that. There's several components that make a raid in Destiny so incredible. The idea of bashing your head against the wall, getting the boss down to a slither of health, but just not quite being able to finishing it. Or you're wiping right before the last damage phase and you thought you had it down. But then you have the moment where you triumph, you beat the boss, and that feeling of relief and satisfaction hits.
That was so much.
Jesus.
So much.
We don't often get like upset with each other, but I can feel us like holding ourselves back.
Yeah.
Or you've said to yourself, you're not stopping until you get it done, and if it means a late dinner, you get this.
Food! Food! Let's go!
Food, the best reward.
But that's what makes it fun. Learning your role inside and out. Whether that be collecting symbols for you to memorize and then shoot on a glyph, being a scanner to coordinate which is the real boss that you need to take out amongst a sea of clones, jumping from platform to platform whilst being torn, and telling your teammates about positioning and cover. I could go on and on about its mechanics. If I needed any vindication about how good raids are, during these past 2 months we've had a limited time activity called Pantheon. Pantheon is a collection of, to me, all of the best raid encounters from Oryx, Rook, Caretaker and more. It's highlighted just how fantastic these encounters are, as each week they've got increasingly challenging. To the point where Pantheon itself, to me, is a top 2 Destiny activity to ever exist, because it shines an even brighter light on just how good raid encounters are. But it's not just the mechanics and the cooperation of a raid that's amazing, it's not just how visually distinct and jaw-dropping the set pieces can be, it's the rewards of doing them. Each raid has a unique exotic that has a chance of dropping with completion. They're designed to be rare to get. So when you beat a raid and the exotic drops, well, you get this.
Somebody got Eyes of Tomorrow.
Who got it?
Me?
Not Joe.
Me?
God damn it.
Say it's me.
Why would I say anybody else but me?
I don't know.
Should have been me.
Man.
That was such a horse shit.
I got it! I got it! Let's go!
Hey!
Definitely no jealousy from my clanmates there. How the gun matches the theme of the raid alongside the armor too. I stand by this statement in that every Destiny player should raid, and I believe that anyone who enjoys any kind of co-op experience should play at least one Destiny raid in their time. If you lack experience or you're intimidated, the in-game Fireteam Finder always has people acting as guides, and the same applies to the Discord LFG. Raiding doesn't just reward you with powerful loot or a feeling of triumph, but it also rewards you as making you a better player too. But what are raids without the people you're playing them with? A few minutes ago, I gave you a story about a bad experience using the LFG. I won't sit here and act like there aren't bad actors in the Destiny 2 community, because honestly, I don't think there's a single community out there that has 100% sound people within it. But I want to make this clear, this community is pretty special. From within the sadness and support last year for when several members of Bungie lost their jobs, I felt a huge camaraderie for those affected. There was almost anger from the community. When Bungie do their Bungie game to give, and the work that goes on with the Bungie Foundation, the community show up, and then some. There's always a statement that nobody hates Destiny more than Destiny players. And it is a pretty funny statement. But also, nobody loves Destiny more than Destiny players. Because why else would we be playing it? But I want to put my own personal touch on this video. See, when I got into Destiny again, I was part of a Discord of a podcast that I listened to, because video games. Back then, one of the show hosts, Andy, streamed Destiny in his spare time. So, naturally me and others from the Discord would watch the streams, interact, and then eventually at different points we were all, well, this looks pretty sick, and we played it for ourselves. We'd talk about Destiny in the Discord, but 2 years later, we're all like, hey, maybe we should do a raid at some point. So in 2021, we made a group chat and decided to run Deepstone Crypt. Me, having only ever done Garden before, I was naive. Someone said we could get it done in about 45 minutes. Spoiler alert, it did not take 45 minutes. Point is, we had such a fun time, so that group chat stayed. I need to make this part particularly clear. I'm the only English person in the group chat. All the others are American who live in different parts of the US. So that chat now has been around for 2.5 years, to the point where we talk daily in there, despite us all being separated. Whether that's about Destiny, or video games in general, or just life. Last year, I went on a sprawling trip across the US. I got to meet 4 of the lads from that chat for the first time in person. Went for pizza, pints, did long hikes up Colorado mountains, and got destroyed at Mario Party. That is the power of video games, but in particular, that is the power of Destiny. From just playing Destiny, I've flown across the world during my trip and met them. And now I consider them all great friends. And I know I'm not alone in this story. But it is incredibly special that a video game can connect people like that. Sure, you hear the horror stories of what happens on the internet and games through abuse, but these stories like this are just as prevalent. So whilst you may feel the exhilaration of a completed raid, the delight of a loot drop with the perfect god roll, I owe much more to this game and its developers than what is within the boundaries of Destiny itself. I can now essentially consider my fire team as friends. So here we sit on the precipice of the final shape, the concluding chapter of the Light and Dark saga. So let's take a look back and what has defined this experience. This is what a live service can be. How a game can evolve over time with its community, its sandbox, and its narrative. Like I said at the top of the video, we're almost anti-fans of everything now. So when a franchise can reach a 10-year long chapter and have its own endgame moment, that is pretty special. We've gone all over the place. We pretended to sail the seas as pirates in Season of Plunder, battled our inner demons and faced the burden of grief and regret in Season of the Haunted. Experienced the revelations of who the Witness truly is in Season of the Deep, morphed a hive god in Season of the Witch, and being granted one last chance to stop the Witness in Season of the Wish. Destiny to me was always pitched on the sense of mystery and discovery. So I'll never forget seeing that pyramid for the first time on the moon in Shadowkeep and going inside. The mystery of how Savathûn stole the light and what she wanted with it within Witch Queen. Death of Cade in Forsaken and the ongoing redemption of Aldrin into Crow all these years later, who will now cross paths with the hunter he killed all those years ago. But Destiny isn't just its story, it's the world you're in. Unraveling Strand and grappling across the neon-lit Neomuna, revisiting the dark secrets of the moon, venturing onto Savathûn's throne world where you didn't know what was real and what was false. That world is also defined by your toolkit, the changes to subclasses with subclass 3.0, letting you play exactly how you want to play now more than ever. Invisibility, radiance, burn, speed, electricity, freezing, tangling, it's all there. And now the subclass that acts as the culmination of this journey, the blend of the light and the dark, prismatic. Now we look ahead to the end.
After all we've seen, all we've lost, this fight might be our last.
So here we go, the concluding chapter of Destiny 2's Light and Darkness saga. The momentum going into this moment off the back of Into the Light, off the back of the final shape reveals and the marketing is gargantuan. I could not be more excited. What we've seen that the Pale Heart holds, the concept of prismatic and the potential of it. It's reductive, but it is the endgame moment. A return of Cade, a coming together of every ally we've recruited, and one last showdown with the Witness. Everything has led to this. Every god we've slayed, loot drop we've earned, raid we've conquered, and moat that we've dropped in Gambit. This has the potential to amount to something that will be a grand moment in video games. A moment to be remembered and cherished by all those who have experienced it. We've all had a moan about Destiny at some point, banged on about the problems we have, the content being stale, the seasonal structure, the loot, power creep, whatever. But it's important to not forget the amount of moments it's gave us too. Maybe the friends you've made. It wouldn't have been possible without the hard-working folks at Bungie. And I mean everyone who's worked on the game. QA, art, narrative, community, gameplay, everyone in every department who has played their part. As a community, we are so grateful. So whilst I'm not here to say that Destiny is perfect, and who knows what the future holds, to the team at Bungie and the community,
if we do not meet again, know how proud I am of what you have done.
Alright all, if you've made it to the end of the video, I appreciate your time. I hope you took something away from this, helped you reminisce, or if you're on the outside looking in, I've helped you understand the special nature of this game. If you did, I'd appreciate a like on the video. I'd love to hear from you now though. What does Destiny mean to you? What are some of your favourite moments or stories? Let's get this comment section as a pool of reminiscing and celebrating. If you enjoyed this video and you want more of me just celebrating games, talking about what I love and I'm passionate about, or just more Destiny 2 heading into the final shape, consider subscribing, as that is the goal of this channel, to talk about what I'm really passionate about. Other than that, I hope you have a terrific day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Eyes up, Guardians.